All right, everybody, welcome to NorCal Sports Network. And this is the same hat that Brock Purdy's dad wears. Chat loves it when Marty Lurie comes on.
Anytime you lose a game this time of year, when you can't go backwards, it's a problem.
All right, everybody, welcome into NorCal Sports Network. Merry Christmas, everyone. What a ball game we just witnessed. Warriors come up short, but that's a 10 on the entertainment factor. Man, that was unbelievable comeback for the Warriors to tie it up, and can't be disappointed when you're watching a game like that and see two all-time greats, LeBron James and Steph Curry, at their ages, to put on this type of show is something else. So what a game. What a game. Warriors, they're lacking some things. They are lacking a true second scorer. They're going to have to do something, or this season is going to flutter away quickly. And we'll get into that. Producer Ryan will be joining us probably in about 15 minutes or so, 10 to 15 minutes. Jeff Taylor, where's the help from Kuminga on the last play? Yeah, he got somehow, I want to see that again, Jeff. It looked like he went with Murray, I think it was, and he was completely out of bounds or something, if I recall. I got to go back and look at it, but weak side, I mean, that wasn't even weak side. That was strong side help. Where was he? He just needed to just step up. I mean, that was tough. You knew they were going to go for two. You know, you got to be in that situation when it's a tie game like that. Last play, they're not going to take a long shot. They're going to drive to the hoop and possibly get a foul or get the winning bucket, as Reeves did. Austin Reeves played a great game.
Yeah, Reeves came in real quick on my phone here at Christmas dinner.
Okay.
Everyone. Just wanted to hop in give my quick take on it and join Dan real quick. Lou is out in Reno, everyone, so he'll be back with us here in a few days. But yeah, I thought, honestly, it was always tough for the Warriors to lose, but I thought they fought really hard. I'm sure I heard you kind of mention that at first, and I thought overall it was a pretty important to see Steph have that bounce back, and we kind of talked about that after his no field goal game. I believe he had 2 points. Basically, that it kind of seems like it's more of a rest thing, not really that Steph's washed. It's more of he needs to play a certain amount of minutes and really kind of be in the right headspace, and then also physically in the right space. And he looked amazing today. I don't know what you thought about Steph.
What did he end up with? 38?
Yeah, I think he might have had 40. It was 38 or 40. Yeah.
Let me check it out. I'll pull up the box score.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, everyone, and watching us. We appreciate you joining us, and thanks. Hope everyone had a great holiday.
Yeah, Steph finished with 38. Here's the actual box score. I'll pull this up real quick. There we go. Okay. Draymond, he just, I don't know. I mean, he had some good rebounds tonight. Wiggs had 12 boards, but they need a legitimate scorer that's consistent, like Clay used to be.
Right.
Clay always gave you 21 to 22 average,
Right.
And they don't have that on this team. Some nights Wiggs does, some nights Kuminga does, other nights it's Healed, but they don't have anybody consistent that just, you can count on. Clay, you could always pretty much in his prime count on 20. Sometimes he'd hit 30 or even 40.
Right.
They don't have that second.
Well, I think with Clay too, what's important is like Wiggins can be a second scorer some nights, but he's not a real second scorer in the NBA,
Right.
like you just said, where he doesn't explode. Like Wiggins isn't gonna have a 40-point or a 30. He's gonna get you 15 to 20, which is very helpful. He's more of like a Harrison Barnes type,
Right.
And we all know Harrison Barnes. He was on our team for many years. I think that's kind of a good comp for Wiggins. I think he's look at the Kings without Barnes this year. They're missing Barnes. And I think I wouldn't trade Wiggins. I'm not, dogging on Wiggins, but I agree with you. He's not a real, number 2. I think he's really good as a number 3. That's where he likes to be, slotted in.
Yeah, I don't know. You think they're going to go for Butler?
I think they could. I think the problem with Butler is we've looked at that. He makes too much. Even with, it'd be easier to get someone like a Fox or a Bam just because of the salary.
Yeah,
Not,
I would love to see him go get Fox. I think Fox, we did the deal the other night.
I'm not opposed to Butler on the team if it was the old CBA rules where you didn't have to match dollar for dollar. But, as we've looked with you guys, Dan pulled up the trade machine the other day when I wasn't on, the Warriors are in a situation where they only have 500,000 wiggle room. So it's basically, in the NBA, that's basically dollar for dollar because people's contracts are hopping over millions. So you got to, basically match this. So I think with Butler, you got too much of your roster. Otherwise,
Butler makes almost $49 million.
Yeah, it's too much. It's 14 million more than it's another player versus Fox or a Bam or
and one of them has to be Wiggins or Green. Has to be.
Yeah, and I don't think you can win a championship giving up Wiggins or Green. I know we were talking about Green didn't look great today, but I do still think he's instrumental to the team's vibe and just defensive presence. And I do think if he was not on the team, you would see this team not play as hard. And I think Schroeder's definitely good, but Schroeder would be gone in that deal. So you're losing your 2 dogs.
Right.
And I think that's too much. The team's a little too soft at that point for me with guys Steph's not soft, but Steph's not going to go out of his way to yell at people. You got guys like TJD. I think you need either Schroeder or Draymond. I wouldn't move Draymond at all, but I'm saying if you did move Draymond in a hypothetical big move, now you have to move Schroeder because he's the other big. I just think that's too much. I think you're giving up because then also in that deal you'd have to give up. We've looked at it. You'd have to give up Looney too. So you're also gutting your core. Where it's I just think that's too much of the. No, I wouldn't go for Butler. I would go for someone else from the Heat though.
Bam
Adebayo. Say, hey, you guys are talking about Butler. You guys are going to be bad for years. What about a couple ones? What about 3 ones? What about how does 3 ones interest you with Kuminga, Pods? You throw in, we've looked at this before, Looney, Payton. I think that was literally what made it work, right?
Let me take a look. I'll pull it up right here.
If the Heat are dropping, hey, drop your whole team. I'd call them and say, hey, if I'm Mike Dunleavy, I'd say, hey, trade Butler. We'll take Bam, and you guys can get a haul. You guys can be the next. Talk up the GM. Say you'll be the next Danny Ainge if you make this move. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think that if Mike Dunleavy can make moves, I know Lou likes to shit on Dunleavy, but I think Lou just holds a little bit of resentment towards his playing career, and I wasn't alive for that, obviously. So I don't remember that. So I don't have any resentment towards him. Dunleavy's been making moves my whole time. Not my whole time. The whole time he's been here, and I would not be surprised to see the Warriors make a huge move before the trade deadline. I hope it's not for Jimmy. I think it guts too much of the roster, but I do think they're making a big move.
Yeah. It's
don't you? Joe.
Oh, yeah. They're going to have to make a big move.
Even if it's not for a huge player, they're going to trade a bunch of people for a Robert Williams and another person, or so. They're going to do something. Joe is He's too impatient. He's not about being 500. He's not about being mediocre. Honestly, the Giants ownership, Greg Johnson, I'd love if he gave a call to Joe Lacob and said, hey, how do you run your team, man? Because I'd like to learn something from you about how to be a little more aggressive. Because if the Giants played the way that Joe Lacob did, they'd have already signed Corbin Burns and another number of players. But anyways, that's enough baseball. But yeah, I think Joe's going to do something. He won't sit. He thought this team was really good at the early year. He said in interviews, a lot of people were, we were up there in the top 3 power rankings. I think he feels like this, and I do too. This team's lost. They've been in 17 clutch games this year. I think it's now 14 in a row. We're right there. This team is not, we've gone blown out a couple times, but not 14 in a row. It's 14 out of the last 17 is what it is. And I just think if the team makes a move, and I'm sure anyone in the organization, I wonder how you feel about it. I do really feel like the team is right there.
Yeah, I do think they're a little bit I don't know if they're really right there. Tonight, they didn't have AD. I don't think this game's as close with AD in the lineup because the Warriors, they just can't beat the Lakers without AD, and you can't beat them on your home court on Christmas Day and no KD for, 3+ quarters. I think this team's more trouble than I want to admit because they were up for this game. This is a big game. It's national TV, and you could see they were really coming at them. And the Lakers don't look that good, especially without KD. I mean, AD. They don't look like. I mean, they're basically a couple games over 500. So I don't really like
that's
where
the whole
this team
West,
is.
though.
I don't like it.
West, though.
I feel like I'm going to have to send Lou his $44 or whatever our bet was here in advance, man. This is getting to be. Think about this. If Steph doesn't go berserk, they lose by 10. And this was just an Olympic Steph tonight in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, you got to keep in mind the game's on, home court. Also, you keep saying the team's 500. Dan, 5 through 8 not 5 through 8, 5 through 13 in the West are 500. I'd actually appreciate you might want to pull it up real quick, the standings. I mean, the Warriors didn't move a spot in the standings today, and they go on a 3-game win streak. They're in the 5th seed. So I think it's a little closer than you and Lou are. I know you guys are a little more old school with the records, so you guys like the teams to be a lot over 500. But if you actually look at the standings, we're not. I mean, Denver has Jokic, an MVP candidate. He's won 3 MVPs. He's averaging a triple-double on 44% shooting and they're 3 games over 500.
There's the Warriors. They're 15 and 14.
So they're 5 games over.
Denver's
everyone in the West is 500.
over.
You got Phoenix is 500. Spurs are 500. Timberwolves are 500, basically.
But can you see my cursor here moving around? This team right here, Clippers and T-Wolves, to me are quite a bit better than
I
the
completely
Warriors.
disagree. The Warriors have already shown this year that they're better than the Timberwolves. The Clippers are better than the Warriors. I agree there, but we've already beat the Timberwolves 2 out of 3. One without Steph, and Anthony Edwards and their whole roster played every single game.
Yeah, I think Minnesota will figure it out after time. You got to
30
realize
games in.
Yeah, but they're just still meshing. I mean, you lost Cat. They gave up
But that's
Cat.
my argument for the Warriors, right? So I think we're just, agree to disagree on this one, because I think that's what I'm saying with the Warriors. That's what you're saying with the T-Wolves. But we've actually beat the T-Wolves 2 out of 3. So,
yeah. Well, I don't know. I gotta believe.
I do think the Clippers are better, though. I agree there. I think we're better than the Lakers. I think the Lakers it's on home court. That crowd was extremely loud. I heard it from, inside my own house. So I think, if that game's at home, a couple more shots go in. Yeah, you said Steph goes crazy, but I think Steph usually shows up not on Christmas Day, but in big games, he usually does show up.
Yeah, I gotta think that the Warriors have to. They got to do two options. One,
I agree with Adrian.
It's going to be pick a lane, and that lane is either go all in or just blow it up, because there's no middle ground. This team isn't winning a championship the way it is now, and they need to add a significant scorer, or you're just going to have to get some draft picks, talk to Steph and say, look, Steph, this year it don't look like it's our year if we can't get somebody that's going to be, a true top scorer alongside you. And if we can't put that together, it's what do you want to do? Because do you want to stick it out because we want to keep you here? But if not, man, we gotta start putting this team together for the 25-26 season and 26-27 season, and start, because this thing's going to be looking like Oracle Park in a few years with nobody showing up if Steph is gone and you're a crappy team.
Yeah,
you're not going to pay big bucks.
Real quick, JT says this too. You were talking about the Giants, and JT, good to see you in the chat, and we'll read this real quick. Warriors are farther away from the Giants. I disagree with that, but and then quick, we have a super chat also, or from Jeff Taylor. Thanks for being a member for 4 months. He says, "Where's the help from Kuminga on the last play?"
Yeah, we put that up earlier. Yeah,
oh,
he
my
was
God.
he was. I don't know what he was doing. because he got taken off the. I think I got to look at the blast play again, but I thought he was out of bounds or something with Hachimura. So I don't know. It's that was unfortunately Wiggs, who's a really good defender. He gave him the left side, which you want to do, but you also have to play for the drive. I'm a little bit playing off, not so tight with 6 seconds left. I'm going to let him beat me with a jumper. I'm 6'6", 6'7". I got a long wingspan. As he goes to pull up, as he stops his dribble, I'm in his face. But I'm not letting him blow by me and beat me. That's cardinal sin with 6 seconds in a tie game, because they are going to go to the hoop because they're going to get the last shot. They're either going to make it, get fouled, or miss it. But there is no – you don't give a guy
an open
a
lane,
chance to blow by you. You just don't.
Yeah, I completely agree.
I don't know if that's on Wiggins. You got a timeout. Coaching has to be able to tell you, okay, keep everybody in front of you.
I don't think that was a coaching thing. I think it was a blown coverage. I think.
I mean, he's got to know that. He's been in too long. How long has he been here? Like 8-10 years? I mean,
I don't think that's on Steve. I like to give Steve criticism, not as much as like Cyrus. I love Cy, but I give Steve criticism. But I think Steve actually coached a pretty good game overall. I think maybe a couple people could have been played here or there, but we can say that every game basically. I think that was more of just like you said. He's got to know. He's got to know in that position with the time.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, when you're that far out, man.
Yeah, and Eddie says that's on Wiggins completely. He let himself totally get taken advantage of.
You just can't do that. There's no way a guy – and then he blew by him so much that, Reeves went up with the opposite hand, the right hand, extended it out so there's no way to block it. That's an easy layup for any NBA player, a college player. Look, I did that back in my day. You just get a step on a guy. Man, you can't let that happen.
Yeah, that was a very frustrating last play, especially after the Steph heroics. I really thought I was screaming in my living room. Everyone, the whole family.
Bill M. Touch me.
Yeah,
won't blame Riggs. He'll blame JK.
Very true.
I
thought that was a frustrating end. Again, I think we're all, and I think next time I'm on my computer, I'll actually pull up some stats. I do think a lot of people are calling me a Warriors homer, and I'm not a Bay Area sports homer, guys. If I thought the Warriors weren't competitive, I would tell you the truth. I think we actually need to look at the stats. You're in 14 out of your 17 last games are clutch games. That means a clutch game, just so you guys know, because a lot of people in here are baseball guys. A clutch game in the NBA is if you're in 5 points with 2 minutes or less.
No, 5 minutes. 5 minutes or less.
Yeah, no, it's
5 minutes.
Yeah,
it's 5 minutes.
Okay, 5 points, 5 minutes. Yes, exactly. My bad. So you need to keep in mind if the Warriors are in every game. Yeah, we're losing a lot of this. Yeah, we're 2-10 in our last 12, but we only got really blown out once in that stretch, and every single game you basically could have won. And I think that needs to be taken into account, especially when we're talking about these trades. Like if you have another one of these guys, like we've been saying, you win half of those games, and then the Warriors are set at 15-14, 20 and 9. I just think I think if the Warriors were really getting blown out a lot and they were looking like they weren't in a lot of games, it would be a different conversation for me. But I think, just so the chat knows, I'm just at a point where I think if we're right there. I'm not saying that this team as constructed is, but I'm not saying a championship contender. I think that's also something people need to keep in mind. I'm more just saying I think this is a playoff team if we can continue to, add someone else and play hard.
I think I've got another trade here that might be something that I'm going to put it together.
Yeah, and Bill makes a good point. He says, no doubt, Ryan, if Kerr could figure out a consistent lineup, we might have a chance. Dan's mentioned that a lot in Lou too. I think, Dan can talk about that a little bit more, but I do think that's important.
All right. I am going to make a trade here, put it up. I think this guy would be a perfect fit. And let me see if maybe even better in some ways. We'll see than Fox. But let me play with this here. I've got to give. This is going to cost a bit here. All right, so we got that. What else are we going to do?
Yeah, and then Mark makes a good point. Mark makes a really good point, too, and I texted you this, Dan. Mark said, looks like Doncic is out for a while. They might fall. KD's out. Doncic is out. There's a lot of injuries in the West. Injuries happen in the NBA more than any other sport. So I do think, and like we just showed you guys in the standings, Warriors win 3 games in a row. And if the Mavs are also going to fall, Warriors could be in the 4th seed in 10 days. So I just think, people need to relax a little bit. I think it's definitely not good, the stretch we're on right now, but we're, with the injuries in the NBA and how competitive we are, I do think we're right there.
Yes.
And don't you think that injury is a big deal? I think that's a huge deal for the Mavs. I think they're going to fall back down to earth a little bit.
It's a calf. Is it possibly anything to do with Achilles?
He's indefinitely out. He's going to be out at least a month, they're thinking.
Wow.
Yeah, and also, KD's been struggling with injuries all season. I know Lou's been super high on Phoenix. I don't think Phoenix is going to be better than us this year. I think they're going to be right with us. It's going to be, I think Phoenix, the Lakers, the Warriors, the Clippers, Timberwolves, and the Nuggets are all right in the same area. I really think the Rockets, the Grizzlies, and the OKC Thunder are really going to be the only teams that are going to really run away with, a better record. I think everyone else is really beating up on themselves with injuries. You got Jamal out a lot. He looks really old and bad, even though he's really young still. I just, I really think you got to, I know I would just, with all the injuries, everyone in the chat, I would just keep in mind the NBA is not like baseball or the NFL where there's a lot of depth. It's you got 12 men on your team. It's a star-driven league. Your star's out, you're going to fall. It's not like the Dodgers where Yamamoto's not pitching and you might still win almost 100 games. It's not how it works in the NBA.
All right. I'm thinking of another scorer. I put together another trade. Tell me what you guys think of this trade here. It works in the trade machine. It's given up quite a bit. You're going to have to give up at least one, probably two number ones with this. Oops.
Northern Lights Entertainment says good.
I hit the wrong one.
This is funny.
What do we got?
He said, Glenn says, good God,
an instant classic fell by the wayside Christmas heartbreak. Yeah, it was a tough one, man. It was a tough one, Glenn.
Merry Christmas, Glenn. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. Everybody say it again. Merry Christmas to everybody. I hit the wrong deal up there. This is a trade that I just threw together. May like it, may not. I'm looking for scoring. Look at that. What do you think of that, guys?
Yeah, I love it, but the problem is this is the main issue. Do you know Joe Lacob has a huge ego, as you know, all billionaires do.
Oh, because he didn't draft him?
Do it because he didn't draft him?
But, man, LaMelo's scoring 30 points a night.
I'm not saying I'd do it, but I don't think the Warriors would just because.
Would you rather have LaMelo rather than Fox because he's taller?
I'd rather have.
Isn't he like
Fox.
6'5"?
I'd rather have Fox just because I think LaMelo comes with a little more injury-prone history, and also the stuff with his brother and his other brother really scares me with their knees, and he's had some knee issues. That's the only reason why, but I do think LaMelo's, he's great. I just don't think Joe Lacob would do it. I would do the trade for sure for that.
I don't know.
Package.
Mark Graves says Charlotte doesn't do that deal.
I think Charlotte might because they might think that the team, I don't know. They have new ownership in there. They didn't draft LaMelo. It would really depend on what the ownership feels about LaMelo. You got to keep in mind, guys,
I mean, they are getting a potential really big-time scorer and star in Kuminga.
Yeah, they would want to pick in that, too. That's what you're not.
Well, that's what I said. You're going to have to give up a pick at least, yeah.
Yeah, maybe. And that's why the Warriors wouldn't do it is because they'd be like, oh, we should have just drafted him, so.
Gosh.
That's the problem when you're dealing with ownership. I mean, you know that. You talk about the Giants all the time. It's you got these luckily with Joe, he's willing to do stuff. It's just not if he doesn't want to.
Lou likes the trade. That's all that matters.
I love the trade. I just said I love it. I just don't think. Do you think Joe would do that trade?
Well, you're going to have to eat your pride at times if you want to be good. I mean, what do you say? I'm not taking Lamelo because I missed him on the first try.
It's exactly what I think. Yeah.
I mean, somebody that's wise realizes, hey, we made a mistake and we've already amended or made amends for part of it. We got rid of Wiseman. Now the other half, I'm making that trade if I'm Joe Lacob. I don't think I'm going to say, I can't make that deal. I look bad. No, you look like, hey, I'm smart. I actually went back and got the guy I should have got the first time. I don't think he would balk on it. Question is,
yeah, I don't know. He also still believes in Kuminga. I think that's kind of the problem too. Is you're giving up.
But Kerr doesn't play Kuminga because he doesn't play him in key roles a lot just because he's still learning the game. And I would rather keep Kuminga too, because I think eventually, whether it's sometime later this year or next year, Kuminga starts to learn the game more and more and more. I think Kuminga could be a 25-point scorer a night if he's the main guy. But Kerr doesn't seem to like him. And that's why I think they're going to trade him. I do. I think Kuminga's getting traded, and I think part of his playing time is because he's good and he's helpful, but he's also being showcased more.
I think George makes a good point. I actually agree with you, George. Now I wouldn't even do the trade because I think George's right. LaMelo does not improve this team. LaMelo scores empty points and cannot carry a team. If Steph was not on this team, maybe it's a no for me, giving up too much. I think he's actually right. I think it could be a thing where it's like you've seen with Dennis. Like, I'd still love Dennis, and I'm really glad we got him because I knew he wasn't going to average 18. But I think he's a perfect example. He's going to average like 12 on the Warriors. And,
who's that second scorer they're going to go get?
I think what you had yesterday was that's what I like a lot. I like that Fox trade. I think he's right across the street. It's not, he's not going to be opposed to moving an hour down. I don't think he might even keep his house. You know what I mean? And just drive or,
Yeah, that was the one that had Draymond going, right?
No.
Or did I do it without Draymond?
No, we did it without Draymond. We gutted the roster.
Yeah.
We gutted it. But I thought it was fine because it said -1 win. It was our projected, even with gutting the roster. You were talking about it, and I agree. You find a couple guys, you pick them up, you play Pat Spencer instead of Pods. You probably at worst are as good as you were, but you have Fox for the future for when Curry's retired.
Adrian makes a great point. Curry and Draymond are dogs. You need another dog. Jimmy Butler is the answer. You get Butler and Schroeder, and you got 4 dogs that are.
Yeah, but you lose. We've already remember this is the problem. You lose Schroeder or Draymond no matter what.
Oh, in this deal, that's right.
You could keep Draymond, but then you lose Wiggins. Right? Remember that we were playing with this
before.
Because
he makes $48 million.
It's too much. Yeah, it's just too much, guys. I love Butler. Again, if you guys, were watching earlier, I really do like Jimmy Butler. If we could make it work without gutting our entire roster that would make us a playoff contender, I would do it in a heartbeat, but it just costs too much. You'd have
Fox
to make
is a free agent after next year. Okay.
Just fine. You pay him because that's when Steph's a free agent in 3 years. So you would be paying him for when Steph's retired. So they would just give him the max.
Yeah.
Because what's good about De'Aaron Fox and what people are forgetting is, and why I like Bam, and I'm really in on a lot of the LaMelo, I would be, probably okay with, I said no, maybe depending on the package, is we got to keep in mind, guys, and Lou's talked about this, and Dan, Steph's got about maybe 4 years left, and if you get a younger star like a Bam or a Fox, and we had talked about earlier in the year when the Bucks were really falling apart, Giannis, someone like that not only does it give you a chance of, contending for a championship or a high playoff spot or, playoff rounds this year, you also have someone when Steph retires that's going to sell seats, going to probably at least get you in the play-in and playoff, make you relevant, because right now what it's looking like is, when Steph's gone, I don't know, they're going to probably be like someone else said, probably in the same position as the Giants.
Yeah. Who was the one that
earlier
in the chat that said Warriors or worse off than the Giants? Was that Eddie K?
Yeah, that was JT, and I disagree with that. But they could get there really quick. JT,
but here's
here's
a comment that's somebody had it. I think it was Eddie. Where did it go? Where did it go?
Say?
Something about our star is 36. Here it is. Our star's 36, looking 39, with no help behind him. After that, we in trouble. Yeah, see, I think that's why you would want to go get a Fox. And
yeah, that's why. Yeah, that's why I was preaching for it, and that's why I agree with you. I know maybe it doesn't, and we looked on the trade machine. It said -1 win. Sure, yeah, and people could say you're not going to get any better with Fox this year. It's not necessarily just about this year, guys. I think, we got to think about, I'm never in favor of trading Steph or anything, but I want to make a move that could make us better for this year or does make us better for this year while also not sacrificing our entire roster and future, which I think is fair as a Warriors fan. And I think that's what we should all want. We shouldn't want to just go insane because we have to keep in mind, like Eddie said, Steph's 36. We can't.
Yeah, and I agree with George. If you get LaMelo, then teams can't double Steph, Mark says. That's
I agree
true.
with that too. Yep.
And George, you're right about Butler. Way too much money. You have to give up so much. Yep. And he's probably, he's great for the playoffs for a while, but yeah, I don't know. There's got to be somebody out there just that is available that you got. I mean,
who's going to be available and I would be down for?
Who's that?
Why am I blanking on his name? He got traded. He was on the Hawks last year. He was on the Spurs. He went Spurs, Hawks. Now
Dejounte Murray?
Yeah, I'll take Dejounte. He makes like 25, and he's going to be back in like literally right around the trade deadline. He is a real number 2 scorer, and he wouldn't, he wouldn't
cost you. He wouldn't cost you.
He wouldn't cost you that much. He wouldn't.
And New Orleans is going nowhere.
Yeah, and if you remember before the season, I was preaching for Dejounte Murray. That's why and it didn't take them that much to get Dejounte Murray. So I was, I would love to get Dejounte. I really would.
Let's see what it would cost.
He would not. How much does he make? 30, 28?
Hold on, I'll tell you in 1 second. It's
a lot easier to get someone like that. That's,
Murray makes 29.
Oh, that's beautiful. You give up. You go. Right off the top of my head, you'd go Peyton. You'd go Looney. Could you do Pods?
Would you rather have Murray or McCollum?
Murray, no doubt. McCollum's too old and injury prone. Murray's always healthy. He just
or would you rather have Zion?
Murray. Murray's always healthy. He just broke his hand. This is the first time he's ever you can look at his games played. He's not an injury-prone guy. He never will be. He's a dog.
Well, that means Schroeder's in the deal again.
Yep, you're gone with Dennis. I'd go Dennis. Yeah, because he's better than Dennis. If you remember, Dejounte Murray when he was on the Spurs was an all defensive player multiple years in a row.
I don't know if I'd necessarily get rid of Looney in a deal. What are you going to do?
No, that's what I'm saying. I'd actually give Schroeder, not Looney. So you go Schroeder, Anderson, he doesn't get played that much anymore anyways. And then Peyton. I think is that enough?
It does it. Pods? It does it. Yep. It does it for sure. Peyton.
Small potatoes. Adrian, disagree. Look at Dejounte Murray's career stats.
Yeah, that trade does work.
What is Dejounte Murray average for his career again, Dan? Isn't it like 19 or 20?
I don't know. He's 12 this year. Let me look up his.
Well, he played like 3 games.
Yeah, there's the deal right there, and you'd actually not affected the winning percentage.
Wow, I would do that right now. As soon as not right now, but as soon as Dejounte, right at the trade deadline when Dejounte's healthy, I would just have that package ready to go in their ear.
Might be a little too late if they're not.
And then Adrian says he wouldn't. So, Adrian, the problem is, again, Kyle doesn't get played. Peyton doesn't really play. You're really trading Schroeder and a half of 2 other players because Kerr doesn't play these guys. Bill's talked about this a lot, and a lot of other people. If you're not playing Anderson, what's the use of him?
Why am I not? Okay.
I mean, I know you've talked about that, Dan. I don't know.
His average for, come on, where is this? What the heck's going on? Minutes per game, field goal. Did we lose Ryan? Oh, he's frozen. All right. Ryan's frozen. We finally got him to quiet down. He had to, we got him frozen, guys. I'm looking here for Murray's average. Why will it not? Come on. Oh, points per game. He averages 15.4 per his career. Last year, Atlanta, 22.5. The year before in Atlanta, 20.5, and then 21.1 the year before. So really the last 3 years that he's really played, he's averaged over 20. So that is a guy that would be, a possibility. Eddie K. That's a bad break. I didn't even get to see it. I was looking at another screen, guys. Oh, we'll have to go back and check that one out. Pretend you are the New Orleans GM. Are you taking those players? Well, what you're going to take on that is you're going to take those players and that you're going to have to give up a couple of future number ones. That's why a team would do that, is because they're not a team going anywhere. So they'll take the future number one draft picks. The players that they're getting would be on expiring deals. So what were those players? They were Schroeder. He's on an expiring deal. Peyton's on an expiring deal. Now, Kyle Anderson is on a 3-year deal. You might live with that. I mean, you are going to have to give up at least 2 ones to secure someone like Murray. But teams that aren't ready to win, that aren't really competing, they'll take that in a lot of times. Yeah, I do too, Adrian. I mean, I want to see him win it with Golden State too. I don't want to see him have to go somewhere else. Yeah, I think you'd probably have to give up JK in that deal, Bill. I think they'd want Kuminga. And if I had to give up Kuminga and I was getting a Murray right now, I'd probably do it. Gives you a real true scorer. I'm hearing that they may be looking to trade Zion, Mark. I am hearing that. And, the problem with him obviously has been health, but does he, hey, those things got big again. Let me see how he did that. Classic. Let's change that down to bubble. Classic makes it bigger. I don't know. Hold on here. Use whatever. Playing with these things here. I would trade for Zion or Butler, says Adrian. Okay. That's cool. Bill M., why would New Orleans make that trade? Okay. All right, guys. I'm not sure if Ryan's coming back in. He may be having some internet troubles. So, yeah, it was an entertaining game for sure, guys. It was definitely an entertaining game. I mean, when it was like 10 points at the couple minutes to go, whatever it was, 9-10 points, and they pulled it to within 1, and then they hit both free throws, and then Curry hits that 3 with 6.3 seconds left. I'm like, wow, this is unbelievable. That game, it's too bad that game didn't go overtime, really. Isn't it? It really would have been great to see the game go into overtime. But what are the Warriors' record now? What is it? 15-14? Let me look. I think it's 15-14. Standings. The Warriors are, 15-14. Remember, this team was 12-3. And I remember Tim Legler came in to a game. Remember, the Warriors had that incredible road trip where they beat Boston, Can't remember that 5-game stretch. It was a 5-game road trip, and they went like 3-2 on it, or 4-1 maybe. And I think OKC was on that trip. Let me go back and look at that. That, to me, that was, let me see when that was. That was back in, I'm not going to be able to look for it. You guys know it, but they played Boston. They beat Boston. I think they beat OKC on the road. And everybody was saying the Warriors are the best team in basketball. And they were playing all these different guys, and they were fresh, and they were playing great defense. They were stifling people. And then DeAnthony Melton gets hurt. And it seems like everything just kind of blew up. And I'm just wondering, I don't know what happened. I don't know if the team just, because at first they started off with a pretty easy schedule, the first 3 games, right? They had like Portland and Utah, and they had some easy schedule. Then they went on that road trip, and everybody thought, oh my gosh, they're for real. And now they were 12-3. Now they're 3-11 in their last 14. Correct. They don't have any firepower. They go for spurts of 5-6 minutes. I've never seen a team go 5-6 minutes. At times they look like they're in the WNBA because they can't score. And it's like shocking. But anyway, guys, we're going to end this here. I'm just looking. Let me just go through the chat, see what else is in here before we get out of here. It's Christmas. Don't want to spend all night on this. We'll figure out our schedule, what we're going to be doing over the next few days. Just digging through the chat here, guys. Hold on here. I think I've seen most of it, but hey, thanks, Adrian. Appreciate it. Guys, you guys have a Merry Christmas. I'm not sure what our schedule is tomorrow night. If we're going to do a live or what, we'll figure it out. But how much Dodgers gear did I get this year for Christmas, Marks? How much Dodgers gear did you get? I got this new blue shirt. Eddie Bauer. See? No. No Dodger equipment for me. I can't even believe I have a Dodgers hat sitting in my room, in my office here in my studio. Can you believe that? I have to put all 30 teams up there, though, so the Dodgers are one of them. Hey, Merry Christmas, Johnny. Appreciate it. Did you guys see my my tweet today? If you're a Giants fan, this has got to kill you, right? Hold on here. Oops. Oh, hey. Steph's last shot. Unbelievable. I'm looking at Twitter right now. I was going to try and find, I got so many tabs open. Let me kill some of these tabs. Hopefully I don't kill the show. All right. I'm going to just pull up something here. All right. Let me pull up my tweet for today. I won't play it on here because I don't know if I can, but I will show you my tweet. This was, if you guys want to see something really cool, this has that background music to the movie where it plays the movie, and it's baseball movie. Anyway, what I said is, how cool is this? No, that's not the one. Where's my, oh, here it is. Here it is. All right. This is what I said on this. I said, this is really, really hard to watch, but I have to admit it's very well done, whoever put it together. Super cool if you're a Dodger fan, and painstakingly difficult if you're a San Francisco Giants fan like me. What makes it more painful is the Giants ownership group doesn't seem to care about competing against the Dodgers. They are loaded, and now they're the only now own the entire Bay Area as the only Major League Baseball team for the first time since 1968, obviously with the A's going to Sacramento. Come on, San Francisco Giants owners, spend the money and make Third and King great again. Give Buster the authority to do what he needs done or to get done or sell the team. That's truly my thought is this Giants team has to do something better. Hey, thanks, Glenn. Appreciate it. Merry Christmas to you, everyone. Bill, thank you. Appreciate the $5 donation. Merry Christmas, everyone. Marcus, good to see you in here. Merry Christmas. Hey, you know what? 2026 be coming a week away, and we'll be celebrating a new year and hopefully lots of new good things in store for the San Francisco Giants. Hopefully the Warriors do something good. You know, the Bay Area needs to get back to championship. We need some championships. The last one was the Warriors in 22, and prior to that, it was the Warriors, and prior to that, it was the Warriors, and prior to that, it was the Warriors. I mean, the last Giant chip was 2014. You know what? It's been a decade. You can't just keep living off that. You got to make some moves and get, you know, as far as I'm concerned, that's past. It's history. Let's move on. Let's get something different going back in the Bay Area. I really would love to see Giants ownership spend the money. My goodness, they have the money. They really do. I don't understand their mindset. It's like they ought to just, they probably got loads of Bitcoin too, and they'll make tons off that. So anyway, guys, we're a year and a week away from 2026. Yeah. Oh, 2026. Did I say 26? If I did, I mean 25. I don't even remember what I said. But 1 week away from 2025. All right. Maybe I'm thinking of 26. I don't know. And maybe the Giants will be competitive then. We'll see. We'll see, guys. But hey, everyone have a great rest of your evening. It's almost 9:30 here in Arizona, so it's 8:30 your guys' time in California if you're in California. Enjoy the rest of your night. Good to see Mark Hope in here. Dan, Merry Christmas to you and your beautiful family. Thank you, Mark. You too. Appreciate all your well wishes. Hey, guys, it's a great end of the year. Things are going to be picking up, and the baseball hot stove is going to be cooking maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day. Maybe we get a Corbin Burns signing. That would be great. And you'll have lots of choices. If Corbin Burns signs, you'll be having all us Giants content creators will be on the prowl and bringing it to you live. So you could check that out. You could do it right here. You've got other content creators that you could reach out to and check out when Corbin Burns does sign, because you'll get excitement from all of us. And some of us will be really, really excited. Some of us, it'll be fun. You've got, you got NorCal Sports Network right here. You got Giant Sports Talk Live. You've got Hum Baby, and of course, even your Dynasty show. So we are the ones doing it out there, bringing you the Giants content. So check us all out. Support us all. We appreciate it. You guys have a wonderful night. We will see you tomorrow. You guys want some band music? Let me put some music on for the band. Check out our sponsor, Chapman Law Group. Give them a shout out if you need any legal matters. And I am going to find our music to play here. 1 second. I got to find it. It's crazy when you're running the board and you can't find things here. Ta-da. I should put them in order here. Here we go. I like this new song. Anyway. Got a little bit of catchy sound.
Look at me sometimes.
All right, everybody. Let me find the. Boy, I need a new mouse. Is what I need. I'm scrolling. All right, everybody. Take care. See you sometime tomorrow.